So about a year ago, I took quite a leap of faith. So I quit a steady income, secure job with great benefits, really high paying, and I just quit. And I didn't ever want to look back, and I got a job as a firefighter, which was probably one of the greatest decisions I ever made. So I'm so much happier now. I have so much less stress, and I feel like what I'm doing is what I should be doing. Unfortunately, there's a caveat to that. Unfortunately, I make a third of what I used to make, and I still have all the same bills. So obviously that creates a problem. Now I have a couple choices. I can tuck my tail and run right back to the job that was making me miserable, fat, and stressed. Or I can come up with some type of side hustle or some way to make another income stream, or to come up with some sum of money. Well, I created this idea in my head that if I was able to pay off my home mortgage, that's essentially what half of my monthly expenses go to right now. So if I was able to pay that off, I would be in a much better financial decision. So the current payoff, right around $200,000 for my house and my 5 acres. So there's a couple things that make it a little bit more difficult than what, your typical side hustle is going to, the issues that they're going to have to face. So first of all, I don't live in the city. I don't live in a suburb. There's not a lot of businesses that are around me. I'm in a rural area in the country. The closest small town is 15 miles away. So some of your typical, delivering food, taxi driver, Uber driver, and those sort of things, picking up groceries and stuff, that would have to pay a pretty significant amount of money for it to cover the gas to even get to town and to be doing all that driving, because I'm going to be putting a lot of miles on my truck. So a lot of those, classic things that you think of whenever you try to make more money, like delivering pizzas and stuff like that, is just not going to be feasible for me. So I'm going to have to really think out of the box for this project. But I'm going to allow myself to use no money that I have set aside, no money from my actual income, no money from what I make as a firefighter. And I also want to throw in the rule that I can't just go out and get a job. One, that's pretty hard to do when, I try to take all the overtime I can as a firefighter, and so having another job is just going to be a scheduling conflict. And so I don't really want to do that, and it's also time away from my family. With a side hustle, I hope to be here, at least for the most part, and kind of doing my own thing and being my own boss. That way, if I want to take my kids with me on an errand or something like that and hang out with them, I can do that. So I'm allowing myself help from my family, and I expect to pay them and compensate them, but and some of them are to the age where, if they want to, they could help out a lot. And I have, this 5 acres with an old barn, an old shed, a lot of like old wood and metal and stuff that was left from the previous owners. It's an old farm. They used to raise pigs. And so I have all that stuff that's kind of like left behind. So as far as what to do with it, I'm not really sure yet exactly. And where this is going to go, I have no idea. Am I going to be successful? I haven't got a clue. But the one thing that I know is I don't want to go back to that high-paying job where I'm miserable. But if I don't come up with something very fast, that is exactly what I'm going to have to do. A lot of people start with a monetary sum, say $50 or $500, or even a penny. I'm not going to allow myself any money whatsoever. I have to start this from nothing. Absolutely nothing. Now, that doesn't mean I can't go look under the seat cushions and find some change or something under there, but I'm starting with nothing. And so tomorrow morning I'm going to get up super early and I'm going to go for a run. Now, why am I going to go for a run? How is a run going to make me any money? Well, I have a few ideas. But for one thing, running helps me think. Running helps me clear my mind. It's something that I have done since I was a kid, and I stopped doing when I was working, 60 some hours a week, and I was stressed out and I just didn't feel like it. And I've started running again, and my head has really cleared out. So I'm going to go for a run tomorrow morning, and I'm going to brainstorm, and I'm going to see what I can come up with.